Starting to the top left is our MVP player. He is ahead 1-0 against his opponent. His ID is
MVP Tails.
Very aggressive style in game number 1. This time he's playing it a little bit more standard. His opponent is starting to the bottom right. It's the Casper player playing for CJ Enters. Here we have
CJ2's hero.
Yeah, let's find out if he's going to make things, CJ, interesting for us in game number 2.
the gateway a lot earlier for Tails here.
Yeah,
a lot
gate
faster.
It looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So his gate at 10, the gate for Hero is at 12.
This could be for multiple things. He may chrono boost his Zealot out to scout and also kill probes. He may also be going for a fast 4-gate, trying to get his warp gate research up as soon as possible. Not even 4 gateways necessarily. 2 and even 3 are quite popular right now in PvP in Korea.
And of course, Hero has to find some kind of leverage against his opponent. And so far, actually in the loser bracket, the Casper players did really well thus far. I mean, most of them were able to advance. A lot of really good GSL players were already beaten, but now the air is getting really thin at the WCS Korea. Every single map win counts, and Hero has to make sure that he is forcing a 3rd game right now. It's not going to be easy, as Tails seems to be in really good shape today. And if Tails plays on the same level that he did on Antigua Shipyard, I think Hero will have a very, very tough match ahead of him.
Oh yeah, this is not going to be easy.
Look at just how far ahead his cybernetics core already is.
Yep, and he knows the probe is seen. Wait, you went core before second pylon. That's a fast core. I can click on the core specifically and look and see how close this is being done. That's really fast. Now, the energy on the Nexus is up to 59 as well. And he's going to chrono boost, but he wants to kill the probe first, which is kind of interesting. Now he shows the chrono to the probe, which is pretty. I mean, the probe knows what's up. The probe's like, well, that's weird. You're not chronoing that cybernetics core. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, you are. He's definitely going to be putting some sort of gateway pressure on by ground, and this is really cool because right now in PvP, gateway pressure never ends the game, but it forces sentries, which delays tech, and I really like that. It's a cool, aggressive way to play this matchup, and it looks like he's got the minerals to start adding gates if he wants to.
Especially in the early game, the big question is, of course, always what you do with the first gas that you mine. And we currently have 1 harvester actually in gas for Tails, and knowing Tails, this is definitely not a mistake.
Yeah, this is absolutely not a mistake. He wants to get the extra minerals to warp in Zealots. This is so cool. And even if this attack is shut down, he can make a Nexus. He goes up to 4. This is like a modern-day Korean 4-gate. And we'll see exactly how this works. Hero does have the Stalker out to deny probes. He's got to be oh so careful with this 1 probe. Tails has to make this probe count. And here we go. Zealot's leading the charge. He is going to be able to force the pylon at the bottom of the ramp. He starts 2.
1, 2, here they are, but there are 3 Stalkers already. He needs to be very careful. I think he might be running out of time here.
Well, he needs to make a pylon on the high ground if he really wants to commit to this.
He has the minerals to do it, but he doesn't.
He doesn't, and here we go. Stalker gets in here. He needs vision of the high ground to warp in there. He cancels 1, and here comes the probe to give high ground vision. He doesn't get it. He cannot get it, and he will lose the Stalker. Now these warp-ins are worthless. A huge mistake here by Tails, not making the pylon on the high ground, and now he cannot actually succeed with this attack. Hero's going to shut it down with flying colors.
This is really a big problem for Tails right now. He's behind in supply. Hero has a better Stalker count. He's microing his units very well. Takes down the Zealots. Their last few Stalkers are gone, and the CJ2 players defends this attack with ease.
Yep, now Tails is going to struggle to transition. Takes a second gas. And normally when this fails, or when you sense that this fails, you just cancel your pylons and make a Nexus, and then use the warp-ins on all the minerals that you have to make units to defend your Nexus. Then you start the tech, take your second gas. But now he can't do that. He needs to make units to defend his base entirely. He's not going to be able to make a Nexus since he spent all that resource he would use to defend the Nexus on units he just made that died. Oh, this is a terrible position for Tails right now.
Both of them now with the transition into robotics, but Hero is ahead in the Stalker count with 5 against 2. There's no way for Tails to be aggressive. He needs to play defensive now, and this is exactly what he doesn't want to do. Here comes the Nexus for Hero, a lot faster than for Tails. Great position for the CJ2 player to be in right now.
You know, the value of the high ground is really, really important. In that last battle, if he had vision and he could get the Zealots up there, they could push the Stalkers back. Then the next warp ends with Stalkers when he puts his probes back in the gas can really start to help out. But things spiral out of control as Hero won the first engagement by holding that high ground, making sure the probe didn't get up there for the warp ends. Really well executed.
Tails is completely cutting down the Harvester production at this point. Hero is already far ahead of him with 28 to 24, still producing Harvesters, and there's not a single probe for Tails and no expansion.
I think he's just going to do War Prism. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his only choice.
Yeah, he's trying to make this one base play work. He's not trying to get a Nexus in here, and he's not producing any more Harvesters because he already saturated the minerals in his main base. So at this point, with the War Prism, that is kind of his last attempt to turn this game around. And if Hero is too greedy and is focusing too much of his economy, it can work.
Every Protoss out there knows this situation, knows this feeling that Tails is in right now, where you play the game, you try to execute your pressure, it fails, and you're like, well, I gotta make something work. You get both your gas up so you can make more Stalkers than Zealots, and you go for the Warp Prism because you're like, there's a chance that I can catch him off guard here. And he's gonna warp in several units in the main base here, not bringing his main army with him just yet. He may actually try to harass with the Warp Prism. I think that's gonna be very ineffective though, as Hero is now in a defensive posture with his Nexus.
At this point now, the War Prism is the one chance that he has, and if he screws this up, then Hero will win the game. He at least needs to do a lot of damage, because Hero on 2 base now at 35 Harvesters against 23, and with all the gateways that he has and the stock account, I think that Hero, if he's a completely blindside, will be fine.
Yeah, okay, so he is going to bring his main army. This is smart, because doing this with just a drop is silly. That's never going to work. I mean, Hero's already at home, and so now, what he may try is there's a trick everybody probably has heard about by now where you elevator units in the main base, but this is exactly what Hero's prepared for, is actually spreading his Stalkers on the right side.
And he has 2 Immortals. The 3rd Immortal is going to be ready in time. He adds additional gateways and they will be done as well, so he can warp in. He has the better economy, so therefore also the reinforcements.
He needs to hit his force fields at the natural. That's the most important part of this defense.
Oh yeah, the Warp Prism is not being spotted. He actually moves in and
he's going to drop right into the main mineral line.
He doesn't see it.
Yeah, he doesn't know about it. Now he knows about it. And how will he defend? He pulls his probes. More Zealots being warped in here. He's going to make sure he keeps his sentries here to force field, and he does. This is exactly how you want to defend this. Keep the force fields ready at the natural, then send a small force to deal with the Zealots. He blocks them. This is greatly executed. But he watches the force fields, and some of the Zealots and Tails get in. He needs to actually send those to the Immortals to take out the shields. This is not going well for him.
Currently, Tails cannot kill this army. Now the force fields are up, trapping a couple of additional units. And the CJ enters player with 43 army supply against 33 in a great position here. The main base has been defended. The Warp Prism is trying to escape, already chased by Stalkers, and things are looking pretty grim. But the force field now at the ramp.
You know, this actually is a game that Tails can win if he targets better. He needs to target the Immortal down with those sentries. While it doesn't have shields, he does. And now he gets the second one targeted down. If he gets the force up, and he does, Tails may be able to make this work. He's got the Warp Prism for Warpments. His economy, though, is just so weak right now.
He doesn't have any money anymore. He doesn't have anything. And as soon as those sentries are either pushed back or out of energy, the rest of the army will be able to get back onto the low ground where they can defend the expansion. And this is going to happen right now. GG, as Hero ties the series and forces the 3rd game.
The build orders that